I'd like to dedicate my brave talk tonight to my very dear friend Jason, who is without a doubt the bravest person I know. When I was a young girl, I loved pink and anything that sparkled. My world consisted of ballet, frills, and dreams of twirling on stage. I pictured myself as a mother to sweet little girls in tutus and fairy wings. My identity was wrapped up by two personas, a daughter and a sister. People called me Robbie or Robs or Robbie Bobs. No one called me Robyn unless I was in trouble, which wasn't very often. Growing up, I mostly followed the rules and stayed close to home. I didn't venture too far and never travelled after school to explore the world. I got married at 23. I went from my childhood home to suddenly being an adult, a wife. I fell pregnant with my first child when I was 26. Being pregnant was exciting. I loved feeling my baby's busy little body moving inside me, and I wondered if I would be a good mum. Would I have that maternal instinct and bond with my baby? And when my baby arrived, a boy, Sam, I realised that I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Interpreting what Sam needed was challenging. I found the constant counting exhausting. How many hours had he been up? How long has he slept? How many mils of water did I need? How many scoops of formula did I need? What if I got it all wrong? As a really organised person, I struggled with the unpredictability of motherhood. I fumbled my way through each day without ever really feeling like I had accomplished anything. The days were long, so were some nights. Most mornings, I couldn't even remember what had happened in the night. It was a blur. But each day started again, a clean slate where I could try to get it right. Sam was not an easy baby. He had glue ear, and he couldn't hear me properly when I said mummy. Instead, he called me Mimi. Riley, my second son, did too. And so did my third son, Dean. Yep, 3 boys. Gone were my dreams of sweet little girls in tutus and fairy wings. But it didn't matter. I was their Mimi. Parenting my boys has never been straightforward. Sam struggled with eating. He threw up every meal. It was demoralising. I put so much love and effort into making him beautiful food. Cooking was the way I showed my love, but nothing stayed down. I recall one day I was in Westfield and he did a massive vomit. I took off his clothes, threw them in the bin, and walked into Kmart to buy him a new outfit. I just couldn't face washing those vomit-stained clothes again. It took a long time before I realised he was actually having trouble chewing. It was a mechanical problem. It wasn't that he didn't enjoy the food that I prepared for him. Phew. So, becoming his Mimi meant learning how to feed him, cutting the food into tiny little pieces and helping him find his tongue inside his mouth to move the food around. We celebrated empty bowls and vomit-free days. Sam also has severe ADHD. It was obvious from when he was a toddler. Some of you might even remember him when he was this age. Sam had one pace, 100% intensity all the time. He even used to sweat whilst watching TV. To prevent a meltdown, I had to learn to find the right moments for everything, like how to tear him away from preschool when he was focused on his block construction. He was incredibly impulsive, and he got into trouble a lot. So I was on the principal's speed dial. Being Sam's Mimi meant that I had to learn how to help Sam manage his emotions, and mine too. I had to learn to maintain my calm while he escalated, to resist matching his intensity, It was really tough to do, day after day. Now, he's almost 20, and he's matured into a kind and energetic young man. He's got a heart of gold and a really bright future. Looking at you now, Sammy, I feel so proud. With Dean, my third son, things were different. If Sam threw the rule book out the window, Dean read it cover to cover. He was a really laid-back baby and toddler, and he just slotted in like most third children do. Our home was busy, and there was a lot to keep him entertained. But when he was learning to speak, he developed a stutter. I thought this was part of his normal development, but it persisted. So being his Mimi meant that I had to become his speech therapist too. We had 3 years of daily sessions where I would encourage him to speak smoothly. We would do our sessions in the car while Sam and Riley had soccer training. We never missed a day. It was a huge commitment, which at the time felt like a chore. But upon reflection, I realised it was a moment for us to bond and achieve something together. And we got there in the end. Now, he's a smooth talker in every way. It turned out Dean also has ADHD, which almost went unnoticed because he isn't impulsive like Sam, and he didn't display any behavioural issues. His ADHD was an important step in understanding him better and then helping him believe in himself and his abilities. Recently, Dean showed me his report card. He asked me if I was surprised by how much he'd improved since getting the support he needs. I said, no, not at all, because Dinks, I always knew you could do it. I was just waiting for you to believe in yourself too. Then there's Riley, my middle boy. The Nutella in our sandwich. And let me tell you, he has probably eaten his body weight in Nutella since he was born. Everyone used to call him Smiley Riley, because no matter what, he was always smiling. Such a beautiful soul. For a long time, I worried that something could be wrong with Riley, because the way he processed the world was so different. With a 16-month age gap between him and Sam, my observations might have been clouded, but my gut told me otherwise. When he was younger, we had daily battles to find socks that felt just right, endless struggles over eating, showering, and bedtime. Simple moments were turned into marathons. It was relentless, and it was exhausting. Some days, it's still exhausting. This took a huge emotional toll on the whole family. When Riley was anxious, everyone was on edge. The energy shifted at a moment's notice, but we all learned to adapt. As the peacekeeper, I worked so hard to calm each situation and stop the anxiety escalating. I became quite skilled in the art of distraction, and no matter how tiring it was, I wouldn't give up until I could help Riley calm down. Being able to divert his attention and chat about the manly sea eagles is my best skill. I've learned so much about them. I spent years taking him to specialist after specialist, having test after test, searching for answers. Feeding diaries, speech therapy, psychology, occupational therapy, sweat tests, stool tests, sleep studies, genetic assessments, specialist dentists and podiatrists. Some days, I felt like I was drowning in unanswered questions. And reaching our Medicare safety net was easy to accomplish. What was wrong with my child? Can someone please guide me and give me advice? I felt overwhelmed and anxious and deeply unsure. I became an insecure mother. Driven by a determination to understand what was wrong with Riley, I spent years searching for answers. I remember going to the developmental paediatrician, watching from behind a two-way mirror. My beautiful boy was trying so hard to answer all the doctor's questions. My heart broke with his determination. Riley was diagnosed with autism. He was 9. Finally, I had an answer. I always felt like I was searching for what was wrong with Riley, but the relief to know what was actually right with him meant that I could see a way forward. He didn't need a label, but it helped to know how to support him best. That day, deep in my heart, I resolved to be Riley's advocate. His constant, his Mimi. And I still am. Creating a sense of stability in a world that often feels chaotic. And despite 9 years of searching for a title or a diagnosis, I know that my care for him would not have changed. Riley always had all the support he needed at the times he needed it most. Thankfully, Riley also has his brothers, who know how to indulge his interest in the manly sea eagles and how to push his buttons. But they have his back, no matter what. Riley has a diffability, not a disability. He is different and unique. He is endearing and curious, and he's making his own mark on the world. Riley was mainstream educated here at Masada until he was in year 11. When I look at how far he has come, I know that he'll be able to achieve anything he sets his mind to. Riley has taught me to appreciate the simple things in life and to not take anything for granted. Since he joined an adult life skills education program, I've seen Riley flourish. He can even make a delicious peanut butter sandwich, and his bed-making skills rival that of any 5-star hotel. Rara, I'm so proud of you. Becoming Mimi changed me. It made me stronger, more patient, more fierce in some ways, softer in others. Sometimes it was a shield, a brave face that didn't ask for help. Often it meant doing things alone, but never really for myself. And somewhere along the way, somewhere between being Robbie Bobs and Mimi, between being a daughter, a sister, a wife and a mother, I lost my independence. All I had was what or who I was to others, which was a really difficult thing to come to terms with. Who am I if I'm not somebody's something? How do I get my independence back? I'd lost my way of who I was, the girl who loved pink and sparkles, but I knew she was still in there. Deciding to end my marriage was a shock to some. There is a stigma when it comes to divorce, but I knew it was the right decision. Even though I felt guilty for changing the trajectory of my boys' lives and scared about my own future, I tuned into my gut and I knew that I could still give them a beautiful life. That was 5 years ago now. Since then, I've been channeling my energy into becoming stronger within myself, learning to support myself, fitting my own mask first, learning to ask for help. That's been a big one for me, and accepting it when it's offered. Last year, I ran a marathon, not like the marathons I had endured in the past, but an actual marathon. And I started my own business. It's called my Pilates Studio. It's a way that I can help my clients move and feel better within their own bodies. It's my pink outlet. And if you've been to my studio, you'll know what I mean. I love what I do, and it's something that is all mine. It's also something I know makes my boys proud, that I can be their Mimi and an independent business owner, something that the 23-year-old me never knew would be in my future. I'm still Mimi, of course. Every day, it's a lot, all-consuming sometimes. But I'm also Robyn now. I am my own person, stronger and more capable than I ever could have imagined myself to be, with a life that is full of love, purpose, and growth. I'm so blessed to have a close relationship with my amazing parents and sister, my constants. I have a loving partner who's by my side and challenges me to reach within and use my voice. My greatest wish is for my boys to be happy, to follow their heart and lead their own independent lives. But most importantly, to be kind and patient. The rest will unfold as it's meant to. Perhaps there might be some pink frills and sparkly tutus in my future grandchildren, but if it's full of muddy shoes, soccer balls, and stinky socks, I'll gladly take that too. I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you.